So
we go.
Carlotta?
Carlotta.
Carlotta?
Yeah.
Carlotta. Carlotta. Which do you
Carlotta.
prefer?
Look, I've been called all the names under the sun. But no, so it's Carlotta. That's my name. But Carly is for like friends. So you can call me Carly.
I can call you. Oh, I feel like that's a privilege. Thank you so much, Carly. Well, welcome to the Martin Talk Show.
Thank you so much.
Here we are. We're back at the Victoria Hall Theatre today.
It's beautiful.
I'm so excited to have this chat with you.
So am I.
Good. That's good. That's good. That's a good place to be.
Yeah.
I've been following your stuff on social media.
Thank you.
You're an actor.
Yeah.
You do a lot of performing, but I also find with the stuff you share on social media that you're a voice for actors.
Thank you.
You're kind of sharing stuff that say how it really is.
That's what I'm trying to do. You know, that's really my mission, because I think for years I've been trying to make myself look like I'm this very busy actor, and you know, I've worked on my career, I've worked on my craft a lot, but because it's been now so long that I've been in this industry, I feel like I really know it now. And I know that sometimes you think you know what it looks like behind the scenes, and most people don't. So yes, I would like to really show what it's really like to be an actor.
Yeah, there's that pressure on us as actors, isn't there? I'm referring to myself as an actor. I don't see myself as an actor anymore. I used to be.
Yeah.
I used to be an actor. But there is a lot of pressure to be busy, to be working all the time, when that isn't how the industry necessarily is it?
100%. And, you know, I was just recently at like this kind of networking event. It was just an event, but there were people that you could have networked with. I just decided I'm not going to try hard. If you're in between jobs, you're in between jobs. And I think one thing that I believe actors should start saying is, when people ask you, do you have a job lined up? You should say yes, even if you don't, because you do. You just don't know when, basically. Yes. But of course, like it's not a traditional career. And I feel like people try and look at it and try to analyze it as if it was, but it's not, you know.
There's a side to the industry that I found that the people employing you want you to be working already. There was this kind of sense, there was that question came up for me a lot.
Yeah.
What are you doing right now? What are you working
on?
And it kind of felt shameful when you said nothing. So going to that place of, I'm working. You know, what does that work necessarily look like? Is it always paid, unpaid? What is work for an actor?
Absolutely. So I think when you're asked, what are you working on? I think, again, it's about interpreting that question, because I think an actor should always be working, but it doesn't mean that all work is paid, all work is a tour, a West End run, or film, television. When you're not working on anything paid, you should be working on the craft, whether that might be writing, training, I don't know, doing your own work, social media, but something, because I feel like actors are creatives. And if you don't train that creative muscle, then you get rusty. And I think nobody wants to work with a rusty actor.
No.
So that's what I
that's
think.
where the question comes from. Why they're asking that question, because they're not looking to work with someone that's just sitting at home on the couch.
Exactly.
Because they know that actor won't be prepared.
I think that's what it is. And so to go back to your question, work isn't necessarily paid work. Now, of course, actors want to be full-time actors. They want to make a living out of acting, and I completely understand that. I'm one of those people, so I'm not saying, oh, it's okay, like if you don't get paid, it's fine. No, it's not. But you know, when you're asked, what are you up to at the moment, it's not just about the pay slip. It's not just about, you know, your presence in theatre, film and television. It's also about the craft.
I've seen with what you're doing as well that you're using social media as a creative tool, as a creative space. I know a lot of actors that find it a chore doing the social media stuff. How have you managed to combined that kind of chore feeling of doing social media and being creative in that space as well?
Yeah, it took me a long time. And I knew that social media were an opportunity for me, but I found it cringe, and I
Yeah.
just didn't want to be on them. So the first thing I did was I created a character to be on social media as.
Okay.
I created the parody of an influencer, and I think that helped me demystify the medium. She's called Valentina Valentino, and she's an Italian, everythingologist,
Yeah.
basically. But I think through that character, I really learned how to be on social media. And then fairly recently, I thought, I've spoken to many people who were saying, I really want to be on social media, but I'm not very good in front of the camera. And I thought, I'm an actor. That's what I do. So why am I not using this? And yes, it feels a bit cringe at first, and people will tell you that it's cringe, but actually I've realized that I only put out things that I like, that I value, that I'm proud of, and that helps. But I've seen like it does have a response, and
Yes,
so
yeah.
it helped me connect with other creative people, which I think it's one of the things that I value the most. So I think you need to remember why you're doing it and still be true to yourself, and you'll cringe less, I guess.
Yes, yeah, no, that cringe thing is really important to. I try and lean into the cringe now.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
at this phase in my life where I'm like, no, I make mistakes. I do
Yeah.
things wrong. I had this thing where when I started this, I started calling it failing out loud, and it
Nice.
was this space of I'm going to be honest. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm trying,
Yeah.
and I think that's what creativity is
100%.
in a sense, is it
Yeah.
not?
100%. 100%. I always say, like, you do your best work when you're prepared to. Can I swear?
You go for it.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
we gave the warning.
Yeah. When you're prepared to be a bit shit, like
Mm.
if you just accept that, yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. It might not be your best performance, whatever. It's just such a much better starting point. You know, so yeah, absolutely. I think, yeah, that's a secret to being creative and also surprising yourself. Like if you plan everything, it's not creativity. Creativity, you have to be like there in the moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like right now, in this like historical moment with cancel culture and all of that, there's really so much pressure to be right and to do the right thing and not to say the wrong thing. And, that doesn't help creatives. And I don't mean like go out and be offensive, of course not. But at the same time, let's remember that we're human beings and human beings make mistakes. And you have to be prepared to make mistakes, I think, if you want to be a good artist.
Yeah, I think it's the only way to learn.
Yeah.
It's through them mistakes.
Yeah.
And I think you're right that society, culture has put this thing on us that we haven't got the space to do that now.
Yeah.
And so I guess a lot of fear has built up for creatives. So how did you get through that fear? How did you get past that of not worrying about? Because I think that's what the cringe actually is. The
Yeah.
cringe is fear, isn't it? The cringe is a worry of potentially what are other people gonna think.
Yes, absolutely. I think my way of approaching it is, why am I doing this? If I'm not trying to hurt anyone, if I'm not trying to make anyone else look bad, if I'm coming from a good place, then I'm okay.
Yes.
But I think you should also be open to the idea that then somebody could call you out for something. And at that point, that's when you have to take a step back and say, okay, what have I done to make this pass? And do you see what I mean? So I think if you're coming from a good place, but you also keep an open mind, then that's how I try and do it.
So big question for you then. What is your why?
Oh, oh
Because that's
God.
a really hard one, isn't it? It took me a long time to, even when I started doing this, I had no idea why I was doing it. I've analysed that through the conversations that I've had, and I think I found that now, but it's taken me a while. So how is that for you? Because often when we're doing a creative pursuit, it starts with liking it or loving it,
Yeah.
but then why are we continuing?
Oh my God, this is like an existential question. I think I'm gonna have a breakdown before I answer. No, I think, okay, I feel like actually it's a great question because we all know why we start. We all know that feeling. It's like a need for expression. I feel like I always say that acting or being a creative, having a creative calling, it's like being hungry. You just have to, feed it. But then doing it as a professional, it's a whole different thing. So why do I keep doing this to myself? I think it's because it took a really, really long time, but I think my why to begin with was to be an actress, to, not just to perform, but to be an actress. Whereas now it's just literally to express myself creatively, but it's not doing it at this certain level with these certain people. I'm not, there's this thing now that everyone says you're the CEO of your life and your career and everything.
Yes.
And while I agree, there's like a business-like side to acting, I don't like to see it like that. I like to see it in a way that I enjoy doing this and it makes me feel creatively fulfilled and fulfilled as a human being. But my why now is to keep doing it while remaining sane and having a happy life and going on holiday and doing other things and while also doing this. So this is also why I'm talking about this in my social media because my why has changed like that. I've become, I think, softer to myself. It's okay if I don't book all of the jobs, if I don't, work with that director by the age of this and that. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's my why now, just to try and chill a little bit.
It sounds like to me, I'm getting a sense that maybe there was a moment of a conclusion, a realization, because you said before that you were really trying hard, but you've softened now. You're not trying so hard anymore. So where was that kind of moment of, because there are two different types of ways of pursuing this career, aren't they?
Yeah.
One is where we go out to everything and we be the CEO of our life and we push. And I've been there, and I felt literally like I was hitting my head against the brick wall while I was in that space. But for me, it came when it all came crumbling down.
Yeah.
When it was like, I'm getting nowhere.
Right.
I'm nearly 40 and I've achieved nothing through this pursuit. And that was a moment for me to pause and start again.
Yeah.
So I wonder where that was for you, where you softened and where
Well,
you were kinder to
I
yourself.
Started out in this. I was very young when I sort of like decided that this was going to be my career, and I was extremely arrogant, and very confident, which you need that kind of thing. But I think I got a reality check when I moved to the UK, because in Italy, maybe, because it's a smaller pond, I don't know. And I felt like, yeah, I can just conquer everything. And I came here with that same sort of arrogance and confidence. And, the industry doesn't forgive. So I quickly realized, I was like, London is not exactly like the small town that I'm from. And that, yes, I had a reality check. But I kept going because I know this is for me, and so that's not even a question for me. But I sort of had to resize my expectations, and I feel that when I did that, it became easier. I became more successful, but I also had to resize the concept of success and achievement, because when I was like 19, 20, I used to say, if I'm not famous and rich and always busy by the age by the time I'm 26, then I'm a failure, which is an insane expectation to put on yourself. But when you're 20, you don't know.
No.
So I think growing up, keeping it going, that's what's given me that reality check. And understanding that we can't measure acting, creative success like you would measure, I don't know, a lawyer's success or a teacher's success. They're different careers.
I find it really interesting as well that you have this realization as you move from Italy and come to London. I think there's something about coming out of comfort zones that change us. So take me back to then when you were moving from Italy. At what stage in your life did that happen for you?
So I was 19 when I moved. So not super young, but still technically a teenager. So that's what happened. And it was kind of unexpected. My, at the time, drama teacher was like, why don't you just take a year out, learn how to speak English, you never know, and then come back and see what the acting industry is like in Italy. And I think 2 days in, I came to London, 2 days in, I was like, I'm not going anywhere. Because I'm from Tuscany, which is a very beautiful place. It's very idyllic. But when you live there as a creative, there's very, very little for you. We only had one theatre in my hometown, which was closed down for most of my life there. There's very little inspiration there. There's very little that you can do.
I would assume it's quite a slow pace of life.
For sure, yes.
That's the impression that outside looking in.
Absolutely. I was blessed because there was this part-time drama school there with these wonderful, amazing teachers. And so that's how I got inspired and then encouraged to move to the UK. So, of course, going from that small place to London, all these lights and bells, it was like they were calling my name. So I was like, I'm just staying here. And I did for a long time now. But yeah, that's how the change happened. Kind of really by chance, but I found myself here. I found an outlet for my creativity, for expressing myself, not just as an actor and as a creator, but as a human being as well, that I wouldn't have had in Italy. To the point where a lot of my Italian friends now, when I go back, they're like, oh, he's so English. Because it's true, I've definitely, acquired something that wasn't there before. So yeah.
I wonder what you find when you arrive here, because I'm from Essex. I live next door to London, and like I say, I know a lot of actors, and I think living here, I think we take the opportunities for granted for what we have here. So what did you start to see as you arrived? What did it look like then? What opportunities were saying to you, you need to be part of this?
Oh my God, there's so much. There's really a lot, but I felt like everything, the creativity and acting, really, theatre, was accessible and it was for everyone. I remember one of the first things that I noticed was that you can have snacks in a theatre. That I know everybody hates that. It's like, oh, you should have. But for me, it was like, so it's for everyone. It's entertainment. It's like watching a film. Because in Italy, theatre is, it's for the intellectuals. And if you don't quite get it, then it's because you're stupid. And the UK does the opposite so brilliantly. I remember going to see Othello at the Donmar as one of the first things I'd seen in London. And my English wasn't very good at the time. And I left thinking I understood everything because the actors were so good. I understood it. It didn't matter that the language was so complicated and it was so archaic, I got it. So that, for me, that was one of the first things that I saw. And it made me think, this is it. Here is where I can find what I've been looking for. And of course, the thing that you can dress and wear and dress in whichever way you like, and people don't look at you and judge you and stare, like my hometown.
Yes, yeah.
So this level of expression, but also the accessibility that the arts have here.
So would you give any advice to anyone that's in this environment to grab hold of the opportunities here more and better?
Go live in Italy for a year and then come back and you'll see.
Yeah, I think experiencing other cultures and seeing other ways that people live wake you up to the realities you have perhaps at home if you decide to come back to home.
No, absolutely. And to be fair, how, I mean, yes, trying to take everything that you can from the place you have, but people could tell me the same thing, being Italian, there are so many good things about that. Yes. So yes, but what would I say to them? I would say, take everything you have, but yes, also like go out and see other things, how other cultures, other places work, because who knows, for some people, going to my hometown might be more more inspiring and more. So I don't know. Actually, I don't know that I can say anything.
Well, I think your story is a bit of an example of that, stepping outside of your comfort zone, checking out other cultures.
Yeah.
And I think that makes us a more well-rounded performer as well, because in being an actor, the whole point is to be something that you're not.
Yeah.
And how can you really dive into those other ways of living without trying to experience it?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Life experience is the best tool for an actor. And I've realized that growing up, having more experiences, just living, falling in love, breaking up, going through hardship, that's what's teaching you how to be a person. And acting is trying to be a human being.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's a very, very fundamental tool, I think, to acting.
Yeah, experience life. I think when I was an actor, I wasn't. I was moving through life, but I wasn't taking that into my chosen profession that I was trying to do.
Yeah.
And I would often miss out on things in life because I was so worried about missing out on opportunities. And you spoke recently on social media, one of your posts you said about the actor's curse. And I was always so fearful of, I'm working so hard, I'm getting auditions, I'm turning up and I'm doing all of this, and what if the one time I go on holiday I get booked?
Yeah.
Like that's going to be devastating. And so I would choose to miss out on things through that fear.
Yeah.
It's real, isn't it?
It is. But I think that's one of the fears we shouldn't give into. Oh my God, I've never spoken about this, but when I was much, much younger, I was auditioning for drama schools here in the UK, and I had that fear. What if I get called and I can't make it? And I missed my sister's graduation party, which, if I think about it now, I feel awful about. I feel awful. What a moment that I've missed, because this school could have called me in. Like, who gives a shit? Do you know what I mean? Now that I've learnt that, when I'm going on holiday, I'm going on holiday. So I put it on the calendar. I tell my agent, I'm away. I'll do a self-tape if I need to, but I'm not missing out on anything because I'm doing something else that's important to me. If I have my cousin's wedding, I just cross it out of the calendar because that's not missing out, and I guess you have to. I learned it the hard way. Now I'm realizing that, but again, it's just this culture of you have to, fake it till you make it, and then, no, chill. There'll be another job.
Live life.
Yes.
Like do life for a
Yeah.
minute, and it will enhance your skills as an actor,
Yeah.
and it will make you a more well-rounded performer, and you'll start enjoying life more.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of all of this if we're not enjoying it?
Yeah.
Right?
Completely. I don't think that at the end of all this, we're going to be like, let me have a look at my CV. Oh, I did this and I did that. It's like, no, like it's the people who are, I mean, I don't want to say, oh, don't be ambitious, because it's also true that if you want to be an actor, you've got to work hard and you've got to want it, and you've got to like find your own opportunities.
And at the same time, there's sacrifices. There is
Completely.
sacrifices. It's not like saying, no, I'm not going to sacrifice anything.
Completely.
There are choices to make here.
100%, 100%. Your lifestyle will change. You know, you'll see your friends going into proper jobs, you know, who then start buying houses and go on much better holidays than you. So, of course, there is that level of sacrifice. But exactly because there's already all of this, then we have to draw a line at some point. Otherwise, it's just going to take over our sanity. And I think actors are sensitive human beings, so we need to remind ourselves about this, and where's the line, you know? Okay, yes, I'm going to sacrifice up until this point, but all the rest is enjoyment, all the rest is living my life, etc., etc.
Yeah, I like how you said as well about the looking forward, and at the end of all of this, what are you going to reflect on? How's that? What shape do you want this to take?
Yeah.
This life that you've had as you look back over it, and so we should be considering that in whatever career we've chosen.
Yeah.
The how much of it do we want to be about the work?
Yeah.
And then those sacrifices as well is, I think for me, I found what my lines were with those sacrifices. What am I prepared to go without? And I think for me, it was things, items, buying new clothes, having a car, a type of car, you know, like just possessions.
Yeah.
I found that if I could kind of not worry about having things, or, you know, like when I was younger, it was all about, oh, my friends bought the latest PlayStation. When those things went away, I found they didn't actually matter. And those sacrifices were okay to make. So for you, what sacrifices are you prepared to make?
My God, this is such a question. I can tell you the sacrifices that I'm not willing to make.
That's good. Yeah, of course. That's more important than the question that I asked.
Maybe it is. It's important to know what they are, so that then at least you can. Yeah. I recently discovered freediving.
Freediving.
Yes, and I'm not willing to sacrifice that. And unfortunately, it's a very expensive hobby.
Really?
Well,
you don't just go down and.
No, I mean, you can do it in lakes.
Okay.
You can do it in lakes, so you can do it in the UK. You can do it, you know. But one thing is to do it in lakes, and one thing is to do it, you know, in the ocean, somewhere tropical. So, and I love to dive with animals, like big fish. Wow. So, you know, when you discover something else, when you find another passion, when you see that you have something else that's really fulfilling you, that's what I'm not prepared to sacrifice. So, for example, I had this big question of, do I get a plane ticket? Or do I get new headshots? You know, and this was a really big question. And then I had a conversation with my agent. He was like, "Your headshots are fine." So I'm looking at places where to go. But you know, even like that question, you know, I'd rather have the confidence to say, no headshots this year.
Yeah,
holiday instead. You know. So that's what I'm not willing to sacrifice, things that will keep me growing and equally fulfill me. I think it's important to find something else that equally fulfills you as much as acting. Because when the acting isn't there for whatever reason, you can't not be fulfilled. Does that answer your question?
100%. Yeah. No, and I think that's got me thinking about. Yeah, I know what I am prepared to put to one side for my pursuit, but you got me really thinking about. Yeah, where is the line of what I'm not prepared? And yeah, and that is even more important.
Yeah, I think so.
So, where did this all start for you then? You said about when you were younger that there wasn't much
Yeah.
in Tuscany.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but yet you wanted to go to drama school. You wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Where did you discover acting? Where did you discover performing?
So, okay, my mum always says that since, like, from a very, very young age, I would do impressions of my grandparents, particularly about my granddad, who didn't like it at all. So I would like wear his clothes and just like imitate his coughing.
Yes.
So I think it's always kind of like been there. But there was this moment that I remember vividly, where my mum said to my sister, oh, because we don't have drama in school. So in primary school, throughout school in Italy, they don't teach you drama. They don't really teach you much of the arts. It's very academic. And I remember my mum saying to my sister, oh, there's this school that just opened where they teach you how to act, like how to do theatre. Would you like to go? And I think my sister was like, yeah, sure. And I remember just feeling something and saying, I want to do that. And she was like, I think you're probably a bit too young, but we'll see. And I have to say, this is like the teachers were so amazing, because not only they took me in, but as a like 5 or 6 year old with other kids, like there were students of all ages. They really sort of like looked after me, and I was in that school for like 13 years. You know, like I was there for such a long time, and that's where it all started. And I think when I was maybe around the age of like 9 or 10, maybe even 8, I knew that I wanted to keep going. You know, I wonder maybe if my parents were in the arts, that's when I would have probably started auditioning like professionally. But they, you know, they really wanted me to do like have a normal childhood, go to school, and then, you know, they were like, you'll decide then what you want to do. But I knew already at that point. Yeah.
I wonder when you come from a place that hasn't got the arts, because in the UK, one of the big things that's happening here, and it feels like this is happening for a lot of people, that the arts are being taken out of schools.
Oh,
That in the 80s and the 90s it was being fed in, and now it's being stripped away.
Yeah.
And so there's a big fear that there's going to be a new generation that are coming up that aren't going to be able to discover theatre.
Yeah.
That they're not going to discover acting. You know, when I was younger, my school took us to the theatre once a year. That doesn't happen at all anymore in any school. So there's a lot of children that are gonna miss out. And you've still managed to find it. So it shows to me that there is still hope.
Completely. I think you will find your way regardless. There are people who find, you know, who get a new chance at life, and they have to go through way more hardship than I've had to do, you know. So you will always find the way to do what you want to do, for sure. Of course, like growing up in Italy, in Tuscany, we're surrounded by art. You know, you walk past a church filled with frescoes on your way to school. You know, so that there are ways to absorb all of this. So yes, I think there is that. The shame in losing the arts from school is that it's almost like teaching children that doesn't matter, that the arts don't have value. You know, that's what's shameful, I think, because I think we need to do the opposite. We need to make it more accessible as a job, you know. But absolutely, I think that you will still find a way. Yeah.
this is 100% one of the reasons why I started doing this, is because I wanted to share the value of the arts, because I saw it not just in schools, but it really impacted me when the government put out a poster of a ballerina during COVID.
Yeah,
and
I remember
and
it.
saying, there's still a job in cyber for her.
Yeah,
That hit me hard,
yeah,
as to say that the government of that time had no idea of the value, but was also saying to all of us that there is no value in what we're doing.
yeah,
Yet, in that time of COVID, that's the thing that got us through it.
yeah,
Arts, the
yeah.
books, the music, the TV, the computer
100%.
games. The creativity is what helped us all survive
Yeah,
that hard moment.
yeah. It's not quantifiable, and
Hmm.
therefore people think that it's just, oh, whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I wonder what kind of a good job that ballerina would have done inside. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
some things, they're not for you. Like, that's not for me. No, a career inside, it wouldn't be for me. I'd be terrible at
Hmm.
it. I'd be terrible. So don't you want to, use my talent at my best? Surely it will benefit society way more, like,
Hmm.
it's not everything is about production, it's not all about that. Yeah. This is why I'm grateful that there are people like you talking about
Thank you.
this, because we need to remind people that, yes, even though you can't quantify it, even though we can't, cure you from an illness, because we're not doctors, we're still doing something. Creative people, the arts are still doing something vital, I would say.
Vital. We're contributing. I think the arts inform a generation. If we look back at history and we look at all the cultures that we've had, the arts have been the foundation of all of
Yeah,
those cultures, for us to look back on and see what happened during that time,
yeah,
during that moment. But I also think it gives us an opportunity to also look forward
hmm,
as well. And when I saw that poster, I thought, well, what type of world do they want us to live in? Are we not considering that if we have a world where all ballerinas become computer analysts, what is that for all of us? Like, how do you see the future?
okay, I don't want to be too bleak.
No, and it's we're living in a dark time.
Yeah,
It's a dark moment
yeah.
right now. So it's hard to. It's almost impossible to imagine a good future with the way things are
But
going.
this is where I think hope
Mm.
is coming from. Um, it is bleak. Like, let's be honest, it's quite bleak. However, young people can overturn things, I think. Young voices. I teach acting as well in conservatoires, and I always tell my students this: you guys, you've got the power in your hands. You are the future, the creatives of the future. So, yes, streaming platform are buying everything. Everything is becoming so consumable. Everything is getting so instrumentalized. But you still have a voice. And I'm hoping that all of this sort of like capitalization of the arts is going to allow um, for an independent movement
Mm.
to grow stronger. Um, I would be so interested to see what my young students have to say, because I know it's a lot, but I think we need to remember that we still have our own individual voice. We don't have to conform to all of this, and it's difficult as an actor because that's what pays. That's what gives you a living.
Yes.
So my advice would be, do all of that and then reinvest it into, independent work.
Yes. I believe that with this big change that we've got at the moment, with the introduction of AI that's moving so fast, and with streaming services taking the monopoly on the television and film industry, that actually there's a great opportunity for a resurgence in theatre and live performance.
Yeah.
And I believe that I'm not the only one seeing that, and I believe theatre in particular will have a renaissance. We'll have a new era.
Yeah.
Because I think as human beings we're going to crave that connection and that truth, that realism, that space of where you can go and see Othello and understand it no matter what language it's presented in. Just to be in that space and see that passion from another human being telling a story.
100%.
And that can look scary where everything changes. And we've had a video come out recently of Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt fighting on a rooftop made with AI in 20 seconds. Just put their value, just the value of them as an actor at the top level has just crashed overnight. Because now anyone can use their likeness and their image and present it within minutes.
Yeah, it's not great. And that's why we're lucky as actors that Equity, is trying to do something about it. But of course, you can't stop technology advancing, so it's so complicated, I think. It's really, really complicated. I think the only thing that we can hope is that this AI is going to be used in a way that actually benefits everyone. But, I work with a company for whom I do voiceovers. They get me to speak both in English and Italian. But sometimes I think these guys, they could just go on an online software and just generate everything, and they don't. No. They call me up every time, and then so if we maintain that understanding of that value, again, we go back to that, the value of an actor knowing how to speak another language or do that kind of thing. If we understand that value, then people won't want to go to AI. But yeah, it is, I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to be scared about it. And I completely agree with you that I think this advancement of technology, of AI, will encourage people to do something more crafty, something even in film and television. We can go back to being creative in the way we shoot. Like it'd be really, really interesting to see how we can keep sort of avoiding the AI, and how can we reinvent ourselves in ways so that the AI doesn't reach us as creatives.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of being creative, is to trying to think of solutions and think of new things and being adaptable to that change. So tell me a little bit more about your teaching. Why have you gone into that space as a performer, as an actor?
That was really random, actually. A friend of mine, an actor friend of mine, he once said to me, "Look, I teach in the school. Would you cover me?" And I had a nervous breakdown because I didn't think I could teach. I was, And then I went. And when you have experience, and you go to help people who haven't got that experience, it's actually quite easy to see, because you see the same mistakes you made, in the past, and it's so clear. It's so clear. And I really enjoyed it. What I enjoyed the most was seeing how happy these actors were when something like some sort of like direction that I was giving them made them feel like they were getting better. Because I know that feeling, I know that. And I was like, oh my God, I did that for that person. It made me feel so fulfilled. And so I kept doing it. I actually started seeking more work like that, because it's extremely creative. It's a bit like being a director without all the responsibility.
Yeah.
So It's very inspiring for me. I hope for my students as well, and it's very creative as well. Of course, it's that same old thing that actors need to have another job as well. And if I could choose, would I still teach? I don't know. Maybe not as much, But out of all the crazy day jobs that I've had, this is the most fulfilling for sure.
Would you recommend that other actors do that then as well? Do you think it enhances you as a performer? Is there something that other than the fulfillment and how it makes you feel, is there something that you get from it? Is there a skill set there?
Completely. I just by watching people, you learn just by watching it, and this is the thing. It keeps you trained because you keep reminding yourself of the do's and don'ts, like how to achieve a good performance maybe more easily, how to push yourself. I love working on emotional preparation, so it helps me. It helps me to remind myself what I need to do when I'm on set or self-taping. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it's for everyone. I don't think it's for everyone. But anyone who feels like they want to give back, I think that's a great way of doing it, because it's really just sharing. I feel like all my mistakes are worth something when I teach. It's me using all of these things that went wrong in my life and my career and giving them a purpose for other people. It's great. Like what an amazing feeling, right?
Yeah, that is an amazing space to be able to find within life, that those things that we had to go through have now got some value for others.
Yeah.
And to me, that's I'm now thinking about my children actually, and that's the fulfillment that I get there.
Yeah.
Is when I'm in that space of being able to go through the mistakes that I've made, and try and be like, this, you can avoid this.
Yeah.
They often don't avoid it
of
just
course.
because I've said it.
And they have to. They also have to make their own mistakes.
And
of course.
so I think that's not the end of that's kind of what I'm getting to. Is that it's not the end of the errors. It's not the end of the trials that we go through. And like we said at the beginning of this conversation, that this is all part of the creative pursuit.
Completely.
Is to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And to learn from them, and to grow, and to change.
Yeah.
So at this point of the conversation, I would like to go somewhere that we sometimes go on the podcast. We sometimes go time traveling on the podcast.
Yes.
Now, you spoke about when you were younger,
Yeah.
and you were at drama school, and now that you're in a position of being the teacher, I wonder if we could go back anywhere in time. Where would you want to go to? Would you to visit yourself? Would you want to go to a moment where you was in your acting, or would you want to go somewhere else?
No, I wouldn't want to go back to my acting. To live it, or to give myself
You can go
advice?
view it. It was like it's like Back to the Future. It's like we dial it in.
No, I would definitely
you can have a
go
look
back.
in a moment.
Yeah, I would definitely go back to when I was a child, on a Sunday morning, and I would go to my granny's house, which was just downstairs from where I was living, and she would make me the most amazing breakfast, and we would watch. Oh my God, what was it called? Disney something. And yeah, I think I would go back to spend a Sunday with my granny, with my nonna.
How did that feel in that space then, when you were with your nan and you was watching TV?
Normal back then. But if I think about it now, a privilege. A huge privilege. My granny has been a huge role in my upbringing and my sister's, I think. huge. And now that she's, no longer with us,
Mm.
she's still so present in my life choices, in my everyday life,
Mm.
Um, so that's where I would go back to, like a place of full just comfort, like
Mm.
soft and yeah.
That resonates so deeply with
Yeah.
me because my granddad, similar thing. We would, God, it's almost bringing a tear to
I
my
know.
we would sit down and we would watch a western, and I didn't actually, if I think back, I never really enjoyed the westerns or understood what was going on.
Yeah.
I just loved being in his company
Yeah.
and just having that space with him.
Yeah.
And I've often asked myself this question. So I wonder for you, as this is your time machine right now, what would you say to your nan if you could go and be in that environment?
Jesus, Martin. I think there's nothing that I haven't said to my
Mhm.
nonna. I don't feel like, oh, if only I could go back. Um, so I think I would. Oh my God, what would I say to her? Maybe I would say, I'm torn between picking just like something very light, like a joke, or really like saying how much. I think this is what I would say. I would say that seeing how she lived her life, which is completely different choices from what I've made as a woman, that's inspired me to become the person I am. And she recognized that in her life. Um, how can I put this better? Even though she was like a 1950s, a housewife,
Mhm.
she would have never considered divorcing her husband. She was very devoted to the house and the kids and all of that.
Mhm.
She encouraged us to be free.
Mhm.
She never judged us like that. She always just wanted us to be free and to do our thing and to be true to ourselves, which again goes back to the creative side of things as well. So I would make sure that she knows how much that affected me. But I think really I would just have some banter with her,
Yeah.
and because that was really our way, especially towards the end of
Mm.
her life. It was just like very fun and funny.
Mhm.
We used to have a lot of banter.
Mm.
So maybe I would try and do that. Have that again.
Have the fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy the space, enjoy the moment. So is there a moment then, if we can take your granny
Yeah.
into the time machine. Is there
Yeah.
a moment you'd like to bring her to show her the future for her?
Here.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm. Oh my God. There's a lot that I would love her to see. Oh, yes. Um, yes, this has got nothing to do with the acting, though.
Doesn't have to. This is about you.
I would like to have a day with her, my sister, my cousin, and his husband.
Mm.
We sort of like found each other again in life, and it's like the sort of they're family, but they're also like chosen family, if that makes sense. And it was quite sort of like recent, and so we'd love to have a day where we're all together, the five of
Mm.
us. Yeah, I think that's what I would want.
Enjoy each other's company.
Yeah,
I think
it's very personal. Sorry, I don't know.
No, this is I think this all is personal. I don't want to do this all too much on a surface level
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just talk business. I think there is a deeper meaning to all of this, and for me and what it sounds like for you, it's so much of this is about connection
Yeah,
and about being with others,
yeah.
finding that space. And but taking it back slightly to business, I do wonder what you think your granny might say if she saw the stuff you was doing on social media.
Well, she actually appeared in some of my sketches
Oh, wow.
of the Valentino, and she loved it.
Wow.
So I wish that we had done more, but she, yeah, she was. I've involved my granny in my work.
Nice.
Yeah, we did a some sort of like commercial once together that my friend was producing. I said, "Come on, let's get these." Older ladies as part of it, and I think she was playing a nun. And then we've done some sketches together. And I think that's one of the things that I'm the proudest of, because we shared this, this part of my life, which is not really easy to share with people who aren't actors. So I feel like she understood me on an even deeper level.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really special to have been able to do that.
Yeah, it was.
To bring people in, to bring family into all of this.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an amazing conversation.
It really has. Thank you so much, Martin.
It's been so lovely. And so it brings me to my final question, my really big one that I'm asking everyone right now. And so, considering everything that you're doing within your life and everything that we've discussed today, and, we've mentioned how bleak the world looks right now. And so I think a lot of us are seeking answers within that. And I'm wondering, if you had the power, how would you make this a better world?
Do you want the honest
answer? 100%. We're looking for the truth.
I would smash the patriarchy.
Yes.
Yes, I think we need that. We need a bit of a change on that, So, oh my God, I can't believe the world is, it's like, sorry, I'm going to swear again. It's like, it feels like it's a dick measuring competition. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of these people, the most powerful people on the planet. What are we doing? I've had enough of that. I've had enough of that. Like if I was king or queen, I would make a theater-centered world everywhere. Do you know what I mean? So, of course, when I see what's happening, I just cannot stand it. Of course, I'm not a politician. Geopolitics aren't my strongest skill, so I can't really give you a plan of how.
No, I'm not asking for a manifesto.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I would take a step back from the patriarchy. Do you want me to give you another answer as well, and then you decide which one to use?
Well, let's stick with that one, the patriarchy, right now, because they've clearly been making a lot of mistakes. The institutions that we have around the world, the society, we all feel like it's falling apart, and it's not working for the majority.
Yeah.
It's working for a very small number of people. And, the wealth gap is getting bigger, the poor are getting poorer, and the richer are getting richer. And we only have to look at that to say that there's something wrong. And when we say the richer, we're talking about 1%.
Exactly. Like, I don't even understand why people don't want to see that. Why some people keep justifying this system. What are they benefiting from this system? I don't think they are. So I think everyone needs to get a reality check that, that thing, I don't know if it's true, but that thing that they say that you're closer to being homeless than being a billionaire. I don't know if it's true, but I think that there's probably something there. Like, you don't want to be a billionaire. You want to be a nice, decent human being. Come on, let's all go back to that, And then of course you can have ambitions, and you can it's okay to want to have a nice house and a nice car and a lot of money. Of course, that's okay. But we can't just make that rule us. Like, we can't.
Capitalism has clearly been successful, and there is some good within that, like you say, the ambition. But it's turned into pure greed at this point, capitalism. And I think that's the area that that people are struggling to move away from this current system, because everyone wants more, and there is good within that, like you say, the ambition's there. But we've almost gone to a place where we're not caring for others enough. You also mentioned a point that I want to come back to, is a theatre.
Yeah.
Why would that make a difference?
Well, for me, because that's what I'm interested in. So does that make me a dictator now? I don't know. I don't know. I think, I did classical studies. So, the importance of theatre in society in ancient Greece, it's huge. And I think that really sort of like brings people together. So I think that's why it's important. But I don't know that I would make everything theatre centered. Okay, I would give like a space to people who want to do finance, a space as well.
I say this so often, and apologies for anyone listening that knows that I repeat this, but theatre for me is the empathy machine.
Yeah,
it's the space where we can help each other understand each other just that little bit better.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think theatre has more power. The arts have more power in general to give that empathy than any politician ever would, and I think sometimes that's what scares them.
Yeah.
That we have that power.
Oh, completely. This is why they're taking the arts out of schools. Of course it is. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to generalize, but of course, a thinking human being, a critical thinking human being is uncomfortable, to power. So, yeah, that's why we need to keep going to the theatre, writing theatre, working on that independent surge of creativity, I think.
Now, you said there was another side to that. The answer to that question?
No, there would have been like a more superficial
answer
if you wanted.
What would that
how to make a better place, how to make the world a better place. Yeah, just just love each other.
Peace and love,
peace and love.
But maybe it's that simple as well.
Maybe it is.
That's been a lot of people have been preaching that since the '60s, and maybe there's something in it that we maybe should start listening to.
Yeah, but I think Smash the Patriarchy is really
is bigger. Yeah, well, but we've also got to that point. For a long time, people have been saying peace and love. But yeah, now we're at this point of it's becoming a mess.
Yeah.
So we need to change it. We can't keep going down this same path.
Yeah.
Because, everyone I meet says how bleak it looks. So it's time for change.
Yeah. Let's do it through the arts.
What a wonderful place to end this conversation.
Thank you so much, Martin. It's been such a pleasure.
It's been wonderful. I love going on these journeys and meeting new people, and this has been a real joy today. So
thank you.
Thank you. And if anyone has been watching or listening to this conversation, we appreciate you for joining us.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wonderful.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Martin.